sitting today. Students, okay, just hold on. Oh, yes. Tanishka, Soumya, Ishan, Dhruv, Rahul, how? Why where were you? बीच में कहाँ चले गए थे आप लोग सब? अच्छा हाँ, कल तो नेट का इशू था, बहुत ज्यादा इशू था। आई रिमेम्बर। आपको कब इन्फॉर्मेशन मिली? 1 घंटे बाद मिली ना? हाँ। कब पता चला आप लोगों को? 30 मिनट से पता चला था, ठीक है। सो वी डिड साइक्लोन्स यस्टरडे, देखा था आपने ट्रॉपिकल साइक्लोन्स? वो अपलोड आज हुई है। ओ गॉड, ठीक है, क्योंकि नेट का इशू चल रहा था, सो देयर वाज इशू विद दैट, सो आई होप ओके, ऑलराइट। सो टुडे व्हाट वी हैव टू डू, क्लाइमेट वाज डन, ठीक है। हैव यू ट्राइड द टेस्ट? हाँ, okay. So yesterday we did cyclones. I hope how many of you have actually seen the cyclone video? किसी ने नहीं देखा क्या? कितने बजे अपलोड हुआ है आज? 12 o'clock के बाद। Okay, so you didn't get a chance to see. Okay, okay. I think किसी ने नहीं देखा होगा फिर। Anyways, so now we have to do another leg of it. All right. Have you seen the syllabus that where we were we? So we have done the climate. Do you have the syllabus right now? No, you don't have. So, okay. So we have done the climate. In the climate, we have done monsoons. We have done then floods and droughts. Very good. After that, we have done. Yesterday we have done cyclones, and also I have done thunderstorm, a little part of thunderstorm and I war. I'll just give you a little description of what it is. ठीक है, बहुत ज़्यादा डिटेल में I will not tell you because I have already taken a lecture of it. तो मैं इस पे ज़्यादा बात नहीं करूँगी। थोड़ा सा एक्सप्लेनेशन के लिए स्टूडेंट्स को I'll tell that how the tropical cyclones are formed. कैसे फॉर्म होते हैं ट्रॉपिकल साइक्लोन्स? थ्रू लो प्रेशर रीजन। लो प्रेशर रीजन कहाँ क्रिएट होता है? मिडिल में, मिडिल में यहाँ पे क्रिएट होता है लो प्रेशर रीजन। बाहर क्या क्रिएट होता है? हाई प्रेशर रीजन। यहाँ पे आपका क्रिएट होगा हाई, सो हाई प्रेशर रीजन एंड लो प्रेशर रीजन। और यहाँ पे क्या होगा? देयर इज अ वॉल, there is a wall. I have told about eye wall also in the video lecture. What is eye wall? So low pressure region बीच में create होता है। अगर ये low pressure region create नहीं होगा तो cyclones भी नहीं बनेंगे, which is important to note. Whenever you have to form a cyclone, the low pressure region creation is very important और बाहर high pressure region होना चाहिए। And this will be moving in a circular motion. कैसे मूव करेंगे, जो नॉर्दर्न हेमिस्फेयर में उसमें मूव करेंगे एंटी सर्कुलर मोशन में, नॉर्दर्न हेमिस्फेयर में मूव करेंगे आपका कैसा, एंटी क्लॉकवाइज मैनर, एंटी क्लॉकवाइज, और सदर्न हेमिस्फेयर में कैसे मूव करेंगे, क्लॉकवाइज, साउदर्न हेमिस्फेयर में मूव करेंगे क्लॉकवाइज। ठीक है, नॉर्दर्न हेमिस्फेयर में मूव करेंगे एंटी क्लॉकवाइज और सदर्न हेमिस्फेयर में मूव करेंगे क्लॉकवाइज। ठीक है, व्हाट इज दिस, ये क्या खुल गया, मिस्टेक, I'll tell them. Vipu, 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 please check the board. I think different one has been opened. ये दूसरा बोर्ड खुल गया, I guess. Just click on that. Oh, yes. Yeah, correct. Okay. ठीक है. So, what happened? हाँ. Well, क्यों? Okay. So northern hemisphere, ठीक है, and this is what southern hemisphere. Southern hemisphere में anti clockwise और southern hemisphere में clockwise, southern hemisphere में anti clockwise. This is the direction. Now you have to focus on the direction, and direction में this is what you have to see कि northern hemisphere में बस आपको याद करना है इसको और focus करना है कि किस तरह से डायरेक्शन है, ठीक है, किस वजह से है डायरेक्शन, व्हाई द डायरेक्शन इज चेंजिंग, बिकॉज ऑफ द कोरियोलिस फोर्स, कोरियोलिस फोर्स की वजह से इट इज चेंजिंग, किस वजह से इट इज चेंजिंग, बिकॉज ऑफ द कोरियोलिस फोर्स. So that is the point which I have made you write also in the PPT in the class lecture, that why it has been changing. ठीक है. Now a very important point which I discussed yesterday is also the low pressure region, done already, and how they are, and this is a high pressure region. Now the intensity varies. अगर pressure gradient ज़्यादा होगा, मतलब high pressure low pressure में difference ज़्यादा होगा, तो intensity cyclone की ज़्यादा होगी. Can you get this point? If gradient is more, if the difference is more, so there would be more intensity. ठीक है, there would be more intensity of this thing. और intensity अगर कम होगी, there would be, if the difference will be less, there would be less intensity of the cyclone. ठीक है, दोनों की बात आपको you have to make sure. अब इसका what is the thing that how it is, the height आपकी किस तरह से होगी, it is obviously above. I have also discussed the height, that the height has to be very at a height, right? What height it takes generally more than your for example 15, sometimes 15 kilometers above, sometimes 17. So this is the range that it follows, sometimes 25, depending upon the intensity. Next thing which I discussed in yesterday's class is why the Arabian Sea is not having the cyclone formation, why the Bay of Bengal is having the cyclone formation. Bay of Bengal is having a cyclone formation because the low pressure region created is more here. Why? Temperature इनका कैसा रहता है, ज़्यादा रहता है, और Arabian Sea का ज़्यादा नहीं रहता. क्यों? What is the reason? One of the reasons which I discussed is that the Somalian currents which are coming, they cools down the temperature of the Arabian Sea, and because of the area also, the area is so large of Arabian Sea as compared to the Bay of Bengal. If you see, Bay of Bengal is closed, right? If you see the whole area of the Bay of Bengal, that is closed, but the area of the Arabian Sea is quite open. right? So in that case, what will happen? It is going to be a it is going to be a open, right? So the Arabian Sea is not going to have major cyclones. I mean, they will not have cyclones. Rather, Bay of Bengal will have more cyclones. Okay, are you getting the point? Done. Okay. Now, okay. So next part we are moving towards is a drainage system of India. Please write down the heading, drainage system of India. Please write down the heading, the drainage system of India. Write down. The drainage system is an integrated system. The drainage system is an integrated system of tributaries and a trunk stream. The drainage system is an integrated system of tributaries and trunk stream which collect and funnel tributaries and trunk stream which collect and funnel surface water which funnel surface water to sea, comma lake and some other body of water and some other body of water. Full stop. The total area that contributes water, the total area that contributes water to a single drainage system, the total area that contributes water to a single drainage system is known as drainage basin. Is known as drainage basin. Full stop. This is a basic special, this is a basic spatial geomorphic unit of a river system, comma, distinguished from neighboring basin by ridges and highlands that form divides. Okay. So what do you mean by drainage system? So drainage system is an integrated one. Okay. When I talk about system and basin, what do you understand? So what is the drainage system of India? If I say that this is a drainage system, so drainage means what? Something is getting poured, right? It could be anything from the sea, it could be anything from the rivers, it could be anything, and it's getting into a large basin. A basin कुछ भी हो सकता है, ocean हो सकता है, sea हो सकता है rivers के लिए. So the drainage system is an integrated. First of all, the key word is integrated. It is an integrated system of tributaries. It's an integrated system of tributaries and trunks stream which collect and funnel surface water to the sea. It collects and funnel drainage water to the sea. Collects and funnel drainage water to the sea. ठीक है, comma lake and other parts of the body of the water. Now what else can be the drainage system? और कैसे define कर सकते हैं हम drainage system को? Can you give me one example? Ganga drainage system and Indus, very good, and very good. Okay. So can you talk about the tributaries as well? हम tributaries की भी बात कर सकते हैं इसकी, that tributaries are draining into that. Okay. So the total area that contributes water to a single drainage system is known as drainage basin. Right. Underline the point. The total area. Okay, Shan, I got you. It was uploaded at 3:30. Done. The total area that contributes water to a single drainage system is known as drainage basin. Is known as drainage basin. Full stop. This is a basic spatial geomorphic unit of a river system. This is a basic spatial geomorphic unit of a river system, comma, distinguished from neighboring basin, by ridges and highlands that form divides. Ridges and highlands that form divide. Divides. That forms divides. Write down. Thus, the river basins are natural units of land. Thus, river basins are natural units of land. Full stop. They are regarded as a fundamental geomorphic as well as hydrological units. They are regarded as fundamental geomorphic as well as hydrological units for systematic study of river basin. They are regarded as fundamental geomorphic as well as hydrological units for systematic study of river basins, comma, mainly due to following three reasons. Mainly due to following three reasons. ठीक है? So can you explain me in your words that what do you mean by drainage basin, drainage system? Who will take the initiative and explain me in their own language? See, the more you will try to explain these things in your own language, ज़्यादा time के लिए आपको समझ आएगा. अगर आप ये stick करेंगे only with the word limits, only with the technical terms, then it will be very difficult for you to understand this. तो कोशिश करिए that you are understanding all these terms in your own language. बताइए. What is drainage system? It is, and first point keyword is it is integrated. Why the term integrated? Because see, tributaries are coming to rivers, joining river. Rivers are joining to sea. Sea is joining to ocean. So isn't it an integrated system? Hence the word integrated. Done. Why the word integrated? Then trunk system which collect and funnel surface water to the sea, comma, lake and other body of the water, full stop. The total area that contributes water to the single drainage system is known as drainage basin. अब जो आपका जितना भी water bodies है, ठीक है, then they'll go and dump into one system. Online students, are you with me? Are you getting the point? When they'll dump into a one system, that will be known as what? A basin, right? Then this is a basic spatial geomorphic unit of a river system, comma, distinguished from neighboring basin by ridges and highlands. अब आप एक बात बताइए, that isn't it the point that there could be a situation like this? Here you have water, here you have water, and here you have a divide. What do you call this system as? क्या बोलते हैं इसको? We have studied it already. No, not straight, but straight in that sense, yes, you can say so. और क्या बोलते हैं? हाँ, watershed. Okay, and yes, correct. Okay, so this is how it has been divided. Now you have to make it a point whenever you have to define basic drainage system that this is a basic spatial geomorphic unit of river distinguished from neighboring basin by ridges and highlands that form divide. Thus, river basins are natural units of land. They are regarded as fundamental geomorphic as well as hydrological unit for systematic study. They can be placed in orderly hierarchy. They are aerial units of geomorphical and hydrological characteristics. They can be treated as working with energy inputs, but you don't have to write all that. ये चीज आपको नहीं लिखना है. You have to only write the things which you can understand. Now write down what is watershed. Write down what is watershed.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Hmm?
Ma'am, in the end, we have written systematic study of river basins mainly due to the following three reasons, but we haven't stated those reasons.
No, you don't have to write the three reasons. Just cut. Only one reason you have to write. Write down. Just cut the three and only write one reason because other two are not going to be very helpful for you. Only write one reason. Write down. They are aerial units. They are aerial units whose geomorphological. They are aerial units. Do you understand what aerial word? How you have to pronounce aerial here? I mean, how you have to write aerial here? How? AREAL. Good. Aerial units whose geomorphical and hydrological characteristics can be measured quantitatively. Hydrological, geomorphic and hydrological characteristics can be measured quantitatively. Now write down what are watersheds. What are watersheds? Please write down. What are watersheds? Write down. A watershed is an area of land. A watershed is an area of land that drains. A watershed is an area of land. A watershed is an area of land that drains all the streams to a common outlet, which drains all the stream to a common outlet. A watershed is an area of land that drains all the stream to a common outlet such as stream, river, lake, wetland or coastal bodies or coastal bodies. Or coastal bodies. Written? Now write down. Full stop. It is the area drained by river and its tributary. It is an area drained by a river and its tributary. Full stop. The size of watershed is defined on various scales. The size of watershed is defined on various scales. The size of watershed is defined on various scales, which are referred to as hydrological unit code, which are referred to as hydrological unit code. Write down. A drainage basin is also known as catchment basin. दोनों जगह अगर कुछ भी आता है, ड्रेनेज आता है या कैचमेंट आता है, तो you don't have to be worried about this कि क्या लिखें, because both the things are same. A drainage basin is also known as catchment basin, full stop. It is an area of land. It is an area of land. It is an area of land where surface water from rain, comma, melting snow. It is an area of land where the surface water from rain, comma, melting snow and ice converges at ice converges at lower elevation. It converges at lower elevation. Full stop. A drainage basin is an area. A drainage basin is an area. A drainage basin is an area drained by the tributary streams, drained by the tributary streams that merge with the mainstream, that merged with the mainstreams. Now you have to understand a very important point here, that first of all come to what is watershed. Can you just repeat the definition for me? Who will take the initiative? Anyone? Please repeat the definition. What is watershed?
Area of the land that brings all the stream to a common outlet, such as stream, river, lake, and coastal body.
Okay. So a watershed is an area of land that drains all the streams to a common outlet. What is that common outlet? Such as rivers, lake, wetland, coastal bodies. ठीक है. So आपका watershed कौन सा है? Area है. किसका? Is an area of land that drains all the streams to a common outlet. सब कुछ कहाँ पे? They will drop at a common outlet. Okay. And what common outlet that we are talking about here? What common outlet that we are talking about here? Yes, streams, rivers, lakes, wetland, coastal bodies. Is it clear till here? Yes, it's a land. So land is dividing, no? But it's a land which is, see, where you're having a river and everything. Are you talking about water divide? So getting confused between water divide and yes. No. Okay. So again, I'm repeating for you, a watershed is an area of land that drains all the stream to a common outlet such as stream, water, wetland or coastal body. It is an area drained by a river or its tributary. Done? So for example, can you see in the slides? Can you see in the slides? Please see. So what is a watershed area for them? I guess you are getting confused between two terms. Okay. So for example, if I say this is a watershed area for all this. This is a watershed area. In fact, this can be also a watershed area, provided when अगर यहाँ पे बहुत सारी tributaries हैं, ये भी एक watershed area बन सकता है. This is a bigger watershed area. Shed मतलब क्या? To drain. Simple. So what is shed? Do you have any doubt, Tanishka?
Ma'am, so does this mean that watershed and drainage basin are same?
Yes, yes.
Okay, ma'am, sure.
Okay, so what basically, so drainage basin is the biggest, see, it is an integrated system. वही मैं आपको बता रही हूँ. So when you talk about drainage system, drainage basin is an integrated. It is integrated form. जब आपकी बात हो रही है, it is talking about this tributary which is getting drained into it. Then these rivers are getting drained into the rivers, and rivers are getting drained into the sea. Then sea are getting drained into the oceans, because they are merging into them. So this is called the whole system, integrated system. ठीक है, जब हम watershed की बात कर रहे हैं, when we are talking about watershed, so it can be done like that कि ये आपका watershed area है, this is the watershed area in Bay of Bengal. उससे पहले एक छोटा watershed area यहाँ पर हो सकता है for the small tributaries. ठीक है, there can be watershed area here also with the small tributaries. Shed का मतलब क्या है? Different river system and lakes etc. wetlands are coming together and shedding their water into a area. आया समझ में अब? How, what is the difference? Now again, so you have any doubt, just let me know. Now the next line which I have made you write is the size of the watershed is defined on various scales, which can be referred to as hydrological unit code. Next point, a drainage basin is also known as catchment basin. So for the drainage basin, we have also defined it as catchment basin. It is an area of land where the surface water from the rain, melting snow or the ice converges at the lower elevation. So Tanishka, for you, drainage system is an integrated system. Watershed is an area where the different tributaries are coming, joining. It could be tributary, it could be lakes, it could be rivers, it could be streams, anything which is coming and shedding their water. What is a catchment basin? Catchment basin या फिर drainage basin. These are almost, they are same. Okay. So इसमें क्या हो रहा है? For example, your ice, your rivers at the higher elevation are coming and coming from higher elevation to a lower elevation. ठीक है. So drainage system, drainage basin is also known as catchment basin. It is an area of land where the surface water from rain, melting snow or ice converges at lower elevation. For example, you can give example here of the Himalayan rivers. They are perennial, right? So when they are perennial, from where the rivers are coming? From the higher altitude. High altitude से आ रहा है, ice, snow, melt, etc. They are melting and coming down and they are assimilating. Done? So this is how you have to understand. A drainage basin is an area drained by tributary stream and merged with the main stream. कहाँ तक लिखा है आपने? Merge with the mainstream. Online students, do you have any doubt in this?
No, ma'am, all clear.
Okay, so Tanishka, for you, these are the three different things: catchment basin, drainage system, or drainage catchment basin. You can also know, you can call it as the drainage basin. And apart from that, watershed is different, and drainage system is, I've told you already. Done?
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now coming to the drainage pattern. Write down the heading drainage pattern. So we'll be taking help of the slides. Please write down drainage patterns. Write down the heading drainage patterns. Write down the geometric arrangement. Write down the geometric arrangement of streams in a region. The geometric arrangement of a stream in a region, comma, determined by slope, comma, differing rock resistance, differing rock resistance, differing rocks resistance to weathering, determined by slope, comma, differing rock resistance to weathering and erosion, comma, climate, comma, hydrological variability, comma, structural controls of the landscape, hydrological variability and structural controls of the landscape is known as drainage pattern, is known as drainage pattern. A geometric arrangement, I'm repeating, a geometric arrangement of streams in a region, comma, determined by slope, comma, differing rock resistance, to weathering and erosion, comma, climate, comma, hydrological variability and structural controls of landscape is known as drainage pattern. So why slopes are important? Understand, because if the river is going in any flow, कोई भी direction में जा रही है अगर river, for example some barrier is there on that slope, या slope बहुत ज़्यादा it's rugged या फिर बहुत ज़्यादा barrier है, then it will likely to change its course. कुछ rivers आपकी इस तरह से होंगी that will change its course, but there are some rivers which will not change its course despite of any big obstruction in between. They will cut through that barrier and they will make their own path through it, right? So that's why we have, because of the nature of the rivers, the kind of the pattern that they are forming, उसके basis पे we have determined the drainage pattern. ठीक है? Why the drainage pattern? Drainage pattern has been created because of the flow, the course of the river, और ये बहुत सारी चीजों से determine होता है. For example, what is the speed of the river? What is the volume of the river? Whether the river is perennial, whether the river is seasonal, whether the obstruction which is coming in the river side is more or less. For example, if I give you the example of Ganga, Ganga is one river. Despite of the fact that कितना भी आपका formation हो गया, geological formation हो गया, it has always followed its trajectory. उन्होंने कभी अपना path change नहीं किया. It has never changed its path. It has always been on the same trajectory, right? It has cut through the rocks. It has cut through the path and got uh, uh, in that direction. So this is how you have to define. Similarly, goes to some rivers which are forming a radial pattern. कुछ form कर रही है centripetal pattern, कुछ कर रही है centrifugal pattern. So we will keep on discussing each one of them one by one. Okay, I'll show you in the PPT also, not today but in the next class I'll show you how the rivers are. I'll share the PPT also with you, each one of you. Okay, all right. So do you have any problem in the definition that you have written so far? Okay, determined by slope, differing rock resistance, weathering, erosion, climate, hydrological variability and structural control. Now write down, in other words, drainage pattern refers to design. In other words, drainage pattern refers to a design which a river and its tributary form. A drainage pattern refers to a design which a river and its tributary form together. Which river and its tributary form together, comma, from its source to mouth. From its source to mouth. Next point, the factors controlling the pattern of drainage. The factors controlling the pattern of a drainage in a region include topography, comma, slope, comma, structural control, comma, structural control, comma, nature of rocks, comma, tectonic activities, structural control, comma, nature of rocks, comma, tectonic activities, comma, supply of water, and above all, the geological history of that region. Right? Geological history of that region. Next, write down the antecedent and inconsequent drainage. Do not get worried about the heavy terms antecedent or inconsequent. First of all, write down antecedent. I need a slide. I cannot stand for a long today. I'm not well. So, I need a slide like that. Okay, so I have want you to refer to the Ganga river system first. If you can see here. See, if you see the Ganga river system here, can you see that, everyone? So it will be always following a trajectory which you call it as antecedent. Okay, it will always follow antecedent or or inconsequent drainage. Now you will try to understand what is inconsequent and antecedent. It means in a very simple manner that whatever comes in between, कुछ भी आ जाए बीच में, whatever comes in between, it will cut through that and be on its own trajectory, on its own path. For example, if the river was flowing here, and for example a barrier has come, any geological barrier, it will cut through it and follow the same path. It will not change the course like that, right? It will not change the course. That is the one point that you have to focus on, antecedent and inconsequent. ठीक है? Can you understand what do you mean by antecedent? कितने लोगों को समझ में आया है what is antecedent, inconsequent? Online students, please, you have to be very active today because I am little low today, so you have to automatically get active. हाँ? समझ में आया? Yes. Good, Tanishka. Dhruv, everyone, Ishan, Soumya, please get active automatically.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, done. So, what is antecedent or inconsequent drainage? So, once you write the definition and then I'll discuss. ठीक है, definition लिखिए. The rivers that existed, write down. The river that existed before the upheaval. The rivers that existed before the upheaval. UPHEAVEL. The rivers that existed before the upheaval of the Himalayas and cut their courses. Very important line. Cut their courses. And cut their courses southward by making gorges, by making gorges in the mountains, in the mountains are known as, are known as antecedent rivers, are known as antecedent rivers. Full stop. The Indus, Satluj, the Indus, Satluj, Ganga, Teesta, and Brahmaputra are one of the important antecedent, are one of the important antecedent rivers originating beyond the greater Himalayas, originating beyond the greater Himalayas. Okay. Now, what is antecedent river? Antecedent or inconsequent drainage. क्या बोलते हैं? What do you call all of them as? Again, I am repeating. If you have any doubt, the rivers. For example, आपके Himalayas शुरू से थे. They were not present there. In which period the Himalayas have been formed? In the tertiary period. We have already done that in the physiography of India. And when they were formed in the tertiary period, that means आपका Himalayas बाद में आया. Rivers were already there. If that would have been the case, so आपका तो rivers जो गंगा river था etc. that would have changed the course. Formation जब upheaval का मतलब क्या है? For example, some hills or some mountains has been formed. You calling them at upheaval. And what they did, the Ganga did not change its course. It kept on going in the same direction. That is why it is written what? Cut the course. It cut the course in the same direction. So it has been written like that. It cut the courses southward by making gorges in the mountain. What do you understand by the word gorges? Gorges are the pattern, a V-shaped pattern in the mountains. How do you make the gorges? For example, if I try to make gorges like this. If this is the mountain, if this is the mountain and these are the rivers, तो gorges कैसे बनेगा? ऐसे. ठीक है? कैसे बनेगा? It will, और ये कैसे बनेगा? Erosion से बनेगा. It keep on going like that and it will form a gorges like that. ठीक है? It will form a gorges like that. Gorges means what? A V shape, and gorges is the, it's a USB, it's a kind of a thing you will only find in the Himalayas. आपको पेनिनसुला एरिया में नहीं मिलेगा gorges. Himalayas में ही आपको मिलेगा. A V-shaped valley which is very deep and steep. ठीक है? And by how it is forming? By erosion. And how erosion is happening? Through the rivers. Okay? And it is forming like this. So they will cut through in the Himalayas and they will pass through it. Now write down. Full stop. The Indus, Satluj, Ganga. Have you done all that? The Indus, Satluj. So can you see how many of rivers are forming the antecedent? कौन से rivers follow कर रहे हैं? हाँ, Indus, Satluj और Ganga and Sarju, Teesta, Brahmaputra. They all are the part of antecedent or inconsequent drainage. ठीक है? Now come to 1.1. Write down under it consequent rivers. Please write down under it consequent. CONCEQUENT. Consequent rivers. Write down consequent river. Yes. इसी के अंदर लिखेंगे consequent river. आपने 1 point जैसे एंटीसीडेंट को दिया है, कॉन्सिक्वेंट को लिखेंगे 1 and then write down A. Write down. The rivers which follow, write down. The rivers which follow The general direction of slope. The rivers which follow the general direction of slope are are known as the consequent rivers. Are known as the consequent rivers. Full stop. Most of the rivers of peninsular India, most of the rivers of peninsular India are consequent rivers. Most of the rivers of peninsular India are consequent rivers. Full stop. For examples, rivers like Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, descending from the Western Ghats and flowing into the Bay of Bengal, descending from the Western Ghats and flowing into the Bay of Bengal, are consequent rivers of peninsular India. Are consequent rivers of peninsular India. Descending from Western Ghats and flowing into Bay of Bengal are some of the consequent rivers of peninsular India. ठीक है? Alright. So the rivers which follow the general direction of slope. कौन से rivers follow करती है general direction of slope? Which rivers are following the general direction of slope? Consequent rivers. Okay. The rivers which follow general direction of slope are known as consequent rivers. Full stop. Most of the rivers of peninsular India are consequent. What do you mean by consequent? Which is following the slope, not cutting through the slope. For example, जो भी trajectory है slope का, in that direction only it is taking its reverse. River का direction उसमें ही जा रहा है. There is no cut. There is no आपको cut करके नहीं जाएगा river. ठीक है? It's changing the course because of it. And that's why you call it as consequent. Can you tell me the name? All the peninsular river, for example, Godavari, Kaveri, Krishna, etc. They are the part of the consequent and they are draining into Bay of Bengal. Any doubt in it? Next, write down 1.1 and write down B. 1 and in the bracket write down B. Subsequent rivers. Subsequent rivers. I'm again asking online students, if you have any doubt, please let me know so that I can repeat myself in case you're having doubt.
Clear, ma'am.
Okay, good, Tishan.
No problem, ma'am.
Good.
Clear.
Next, write down. Good, very good. Now write down
Clear.
subsequent rivers. Good, Dhruv. Write down subsequent rivers. Spelling, I'm giving you spelling of it. SUB, sub, write down sub and sequent. SEQENT, subsequent river. Write down a tributary stream. A tributary stream that is eroded along. A tributary stream that is eroded along an underlying belt of non-resistance rock. A tributary stream that is eroded along a underlying belt of non-resistant rock after the main drainage pattern. After the main drainage pattern, consequent river has been established is known as subsequent rivers is known as subsequent rivers. Full stop. Due to the northward slope of the peninsula towards the Great Plain, due to northward slope of the peninsula towards the Great Plain, comma, the rivers originating from Vindhya and Satpura ranges, yes, due to the northward slope of the peninsula towards Great Plains, comma, the rivers originating from Vindhya and Satpura ranges flow northward into the Ganga systems, full stop. The Chambal, comma, Sindh, comma, Kane, comma, Betwa, comma, Tons, Tons, comma, Son, Son, meet the Yamuna and the Ganga at the right angles. At the right angles. Or in other words, we can say that they often form a rectangular or trellis, Trell, they often form rectangular or trellised, Trellised, trellised drainage pattern because they are controlled by underlying geology such as joints or faults, in the rocks. Write down. Subsequent rivers frequently join a master stream at a right angle. एग्जाम्पल लिखेंगे इसका. राइट ऑन द एग्जाम्पल. Chambal, I think you have written this now. Chambal, Sindh, Kane and Betwa are forming subsequent. They are subsequent to Ganga river system. ठीक है. Okay. Now, for the people who could not understand this, so what is the first line that we have done in a subsequent? A tributary system that is eroded along a underlying belt of non-resistance rock. ठीक है. After the main drainage patterns, consequent river has been established. Now, what is the consequent river that we have discussed? जब आपका it is following the trajectory of a slope. जब आपने slope की trajectory follow करी, then what kind of drainage pattern you are forming? You are forming a consequent river system. ठीक है? That has been formed already. Now, what you are doing? Now, tributary is forming what? It follows the course along the belt of weaker or less resistant rock, often cutting across the original drainage flow. These rivers join. Now, how they are joining the mainstream? These rivers, for example, Chambal, for example, Son, for example, Betwa, जो main rivers हैं, they are joining at right angle. So, this Chambal, Ken, Betwa are the tributary of what? In reality, they are the tributary of Yamuna. Right? And at what angle they will join? Ganga. Huh? 90 degree. Very good. So this formation, the formula is known as, the formation is known as trellised system. Okay? This is known as trellised system. This is an important part of the drainage pattern system. You never know that they can ask the explain about the drainage pattern, then you have to give some of the examples of it. Right? So again, for the people or for the online students, I'm again repeating for them that how they have been formed. See, this is the mainstream. आपका mainstream क्या है? This is the mainstream in which it is going. ये आपका mainstream है. And in which this is being added. This is the right angle at which the rivers are getting added to the mainstream. Can you see the angle? This is forming 90-degree angle here. This 90-degree angle is formed here, and you call it as what? A trellised system. Trellisd. This is what? Your subsequent. This is called subsequent, in which your main drainage pattern has been formed already, and then ये आपका, this is your mainstream. ठीक है? And after that you are adding the river, tributaries are added into it. ठीक है? Trellised ही थे. This is, हाँ मतलब I mean trellised are forming. ये चीज उसमें form होती है 90 degree. ठीक है? Now one point I have to clarify in this, like it has been said that where the consequent rivers has been formed. So consequent means what? जब आपका already you're following the course of a area. For example, if I talk about Godavari, right? Now Godavari is following a course of an area and it is flowing like that. Following the course, okay? जैसे यहाँ पे अगर कोई barrier आया, तो it will not cut through it. It will just go from the side, and then again यहाँ पे फिर barrier आ गया, ऐसे सीधा नहीं जाएगा. It will go like this. So this is called not cutting the course, but following the trajectory. आप follow कर रहे, जैसे जैसे आपको जैसे लेके जा रहे हैं वैसे वैसे आप जा रहे हो. अगर इसकी tributary की बात करें, I'm just giving a hypothetical point. अगर tributary की बात करें, तो it will be added like this. Now ये consequent तो बन गया है. This is called the consequent. Now the things which are been added on in it, जो tributary हैं, जिसके अंदर ऐड होंगी, वो कैसे ऐड होंगी? At a right angle. ऊपर से अगर आप बर्ड व्यू में देखेंगे तो ऐसा लगेगा that right angle पे सारी tributaries ऐसे ऐड हो रही है. This is known as your trellised pattern system, which will be formed in subsequent. Sub मतलब part. Word से ही पता चल रहा है. Subsequent. Sub means part. Part of what? Sequent. Consequent. ठीक है? Online students, I know this is a little tricky part, so I need your doubts, whatever, if it's any, please ask me, or please switch on your mic because I can see.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, Tanishka.
Ma'am, the consequent river follows the slope, but the subsequent rivers, they erode and then join the consequent river at right angle.
Correct. So follow the slope. Correct. Consequent follows the slope. No doubt about it. Okay. Not always, but yes, they are. Okay. So again, I am repeating, a tributary stream that is eroded, like Tanishka has rightly said, it is eroded along an underlying belt of a non-resistant rock after the main drainage pattern, consequent river has been established, is known as subsequent river. That she has pointed out that it has been eroded along the underlying belt, right? Next point, due to the northward slope of the peninsula towards the Great Plain, the rivers originating from the Vindhya and Satpura ranges flow northward into the Ganga system. Chambal, Sindh, Ken, Tone, Son meet Yamuna and Ganga at right angle. कोई doubt इसके अंदर? Do you have any doubt about it? ठीक है. Now write down. डिफरेंट मतलब उसका एक पार्ट है. ट्रेलाइज इज अ पार्ट, क्योंकि इसके अंदर ट्रेलाइज भी बन सकता है, इसके अंदर रेक्टेंगुलर भी बन सकता है. करेक्ट, उसके अंदर रेक्टेंगुलर भी बन सकता है. इट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ इट. मतलब ये एक पार्ट है जो सब्सिक्वेंट में बन सकता है. इसके अलावा रेक्टेंगुलर फॉर्मेशन भी हो सकता है. ठीक है. Do you want me to give another definition of it if you are not getting? I'm okay with that too. Pakka? Shall I give another definition of it? Pakka? ठीक है. Okay. Now, come
Ma'am?
to, yes.
Ma'am, did subsequent rivers only form with consequent or with antecedent also?
Yes, they can be formed with antecedent. Rightly said. It can be formed with antecedent because Ganga river system is what? It is an antecedent. It is an inconsequent, right? So once that has been formed, then you can add on the tributary. और tributaries फिर कैसे add हो रही है? 90 degree angles पे add हो रही है. Because गंगा क्या है? It is a type of a antecedent river, inconsequent river. दोनों में से कुछ भी बोलो, बात एक ही है. ठीक है?
Yes.
Okay. बेसिकली आपका जो इनिशियल ड्रेनेज पैटर्न है वो रेडी होना चाहिए. इनिशियल ड्रेनेज पैटर्न कुछ भी हो सकता है, कॉन्सिक्वेंट भी हो सकता है, इनकॉन्सिक्वेंट भी हो सकता है.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, write down. Now resequent rivers. Write down. Resequent river. Please write down one line. Please add, like Ishan has asked this question. Note करके लिखिए. Write down a note. Subsequent rivers frequently join. Subsequent river frequently join. हाँ, एक सेकंड point I have to add. No, I have to add master stream that you have not written. Master stream लिखा. So please underline करेंगे master stream. Your master stream का जो formation है कुछ भी हो सकता है. Consequent भी हो सकता है, inconsequent भी हो सकता है. Please उसको box में लिख लीजिए. That point. Please put it in a box. Write on next point, resequent rivers. Resequent. R-E-S-E-Q-E-N-T. Resequent rivers. Write down a point. It flows in the same direction as of the initial consequent rivers. It flows in the same directions as of initial consequent streams or river. Full stop. However, it develops in response to. However, it develops in response to However, it develops in response to a new base level. A new base level.
Ma'am,
Write
could
down.
you please repeat the first point again?
Yes, it flows in the same direction as of the initial consequent stream full stop. However, it develops in response to a new base level. A new base level. Write down. Full stop करके आगे लिखेंगे. A resequent river is a stream which often form during a second cycle of, these are the streams which are formed during a second cycle of erosion, comma, carving new valleys in lower topographic strata. Next point, it may form after the original landforms. It may form after the original landform are eroded. It may form after the original landform are eroded. Next point, typically they are found at the lower elevation than the original consequent stream. Then the original, typically they are found at the lower elevation than the original consequent stream. Okay, what is resequent? Consequent is, you know already कि erosion होगा. That is for sure. Erosion तो होगा. They will, हाँ, हाँ, according to the slope they will go. ठीक है. So it flows in the same direction as initial consequent stream. However, it develops in response to a new base level. What do you mean by that? So resequent is a stream that flows in same direction as consequent. मतलब consequent जिस direction में जा रहा है उसी direction में flow करेंगे parallelly. But they are not originated at the same time at which the main stream was originated. वो बाद में develop होंगे. So the time period is differed from the mainstream rivers. Can you get the point? Are you getting the point? For example, today whatever its date, ठीक है, आज अगर कोई river originate हुई है, so after a decade, for example, another river will come in the same direction, but run parallelly through it. I mean along that river. But क्या नहीं होगा? It will not same time पे नहीं होगा, but they will flow parallelly toward in the same direction and with each other. Okay, these streams often form during a second cycle of erosion. A very, very important point. Have you written this point? So please underline this point, that it is forming during a second cycle of erosion. Please underline it. Comma, carving new valleys in the lower topographical strata. They are carving what? Newer valleys in the lower topographical strata. Strata means layer, such in a lower ground, etc. Next, it flows in the same direction as the master consequent stream. That is true. It develops at the later stage and at the second cycle of erosion. न्यू बेस लेवल मीन्स नया लैंड, उसी में थोड़ा मर्ज होगा, नया लैंड हो. न्यू बेस लेवल मीन्स न्यू लैंड. ठीक है. What I'm trying to explain you in it in a very simpler manner is this. For example, this has been already formed. This is a consequent river, right? This is at another level. अब नीचे I cannot show you the lower elevation. सिर्फ आपको मैं बता सकती हूँ ये आपका lower elevation है. ये आपका हाइट पे नीचे है. टाइमलाइंस ऑफ इट आर डिफरेंट. ये अलग टाइमलाइन पे बना है और ये लेटर स्टेज पे बनेगा. अब ये स्ट्रीम आपका ऊपर वाले लेवल पे, हाई लेवल पे, फॉर एग्जांपल प्लेटू आप सोच लीजिए, प्लेटूज पे दिस कॉन्सिक्वेंट रिवर इज फ्लोइंग. नाउ सेकंड जब इरोजन होगा, फॉर एग्जांपल इफ दिस इसी का ही पार्ट है, कोई रिवर है, यहाँ से एक्सट्रीम निकल गई एंड एट अ लेटर स्टेजेस दे आर फ्लोइंग इन द सेम डायरेक्शन एज दिस. पर इसका जो एलिवेशन है, इसका एलिवेशन है सेम नहीं है, बट द डायरेक्शन इज सेम. दे आर फॉलोइंग द सेम डायरेक्शन, सेम लाइन, सेम पैरेलली दे आर फ्लोइंग. ठीक है. सो सेकंड लेवल ऑफ रीसीक्वेंट, मतलब फिर से री मीन्स अगेन रीसीक्वेंट, इसी की डायरेक्शन में चलेगा, पैरेलली चलेगा एंड इट विल फ्लो टुगेदर. आर यू गेटिंग द पॉइंट?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, elevation is not same because it occurs at the second cycle of erosion. So
हाँ,
the
ये
land.
भी रीजन. हाँ, दिस कुड बी अ रीजन दैट सेकंड साइकिल ऑफ इरोजन होगा. न्यू बेस लेवल मींस न्यू लैंड, बिकॉज ये अलग से बना है ना, इसके साथ तो मर्ज नहीं हुआ. इट इज फॉर्मिंग अ डिफरेंट लैंड पे अगेन दे आर गोइंग. सो द साइकिल ऑफ इरोजन विल बी देयर. Done. Prelims में it comes quite often, but you
Excuse me,
never
ma'am.
know the nature. Yes, yes.
Ma'am, the origin of river is same.
Yes, origin of the river can be same, cannot be same.
Okay, ma'am.
We cannot talk about the origin of river because we do not know that whether the origin is same or not, because maybe possibility could be there that some basin would have been formed and because of the basin the water I mean the collection of the water has been done to the precipitation, so then the river source is not same. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Their origin is recent, that is definitely for sure. Okay. Now write down obsequent river. OBSEQ. Please bear this part today because this is, but we cannot skip it also because you never know it can be asked. I know it is one of the most difficult part of the drainage patterns. I mean, drainage pattern is one of the most difficult part of the drainage system of India. But once you will understand conceptually, you will never forget it. Write down obsequent rivers. OBSEQUENT. And please, your advice to watch the cyclone, tropical cyclone video today. How much time it will take to you to watch it? आप कैसे स्पीड में देखते हैं? What speed do you watch? Same speed या you double it? हाँ. हाँ, you have to write the maximum. What happens if you see the hack is if you try to double it, then what happens? I've seen a lot of people watching at 2x speed or 1.5 or 1x speed. उससे क्या होगा? अब बार बार उसको स्टॉप करोगे और बार बार आपको वापस जाना पड़ेगा टू अंडरस्टैंड द सेम टॉपिक. तो टाइम आपका 2 आवर्स की जगह 3 आवर्स लग जाएगा उस केस में. So you have to understand this point. Write down obsequent river. It is formed when it adjusts itself. It forms when it adjusts itself to some rock structure. Full stop. An obsequent river may form perpendicularly to subsequent stream. Obsequent river may form perpendicularly to a subsequent stream. Full stop. It flows opposite to. It flows opposite to the direction of flow of the it flows opposite to the direction of to the flow of the original consequent stream. Direction of flow of the original consequent stream. Write down. Or we can define it in a way, write down. Or we can define it in a way, write down. An obsequent river is a tributary. An obsequent river is a tributary that flows in the opposite direction to the original main. An obsequent river is a tributary that flows in the opposite direction to the original main. ब्रैकेट में लिखेंगे consequent river, comma, often against the general slope of the land. Write down. Obsequent streams are formed. Obsequent streams are formed through headward erosion. HEAD, headward, WARD. Headward erosion along underlying rock after the initial drainage pattern. After the initial drainage pattern of consequent and subsequent rivers has been formed. Done. So what is obsequent? It's opposite. Opposite of what? The mainstream. For example, this is a stream. आपका मेन स्ट्रीम कैसा है? इट्स इन द सेम डायरेक्शन. ये आपका डायरेक्शन. अब आपका ट्रिब्यूटरी इस डायरेक्शन में नहीं फ्लो करेगी, इस डायरेक्शन में नहीं फ्लो करेगी. इट विल फ्लो इन अ ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन एंड जॉइन लाइक दैट. ये इधर फ्लो कर रही है, ये इधर फ्लो कर रही है, एंड विल जॉइन लाइक दैट. Getting the point? Your main stream is flowing in this direction from west to east. Your tributary will go from east to west, and then it will join like that. Either at right angle or whatever angle they will join. Right angle पे भी join कर सकते हैं, किसी भी pattern में join कर सकते हैं, पर उनका direction same नहीं होगा, which you call it as obsequent rivers. Right? So can you repeat the point after me what we have written in the obsequent river? Please repeat the part, Rahul. हाँ, please study. थोड़ा तेज पढ़िए. Louder.
Is formed when it adjusts itself to the same rock structure, and subsequent river may form perpendicular to subsequent stream. It flows opposite to the direction of the flow of the original consequent stream, or we can define it in a way that subsequent river is a tributary that flows in opposite direction to the original main consequent river, often against general flow of land.
Often against general slope of land. So what is the first point is saying? Can you understand? Can you explain it through the points which you have written? Yes or no? No. Okay, just repeat again, one by one. थोड़ा तेज बोलिए.
Subsequent river is formed when it adjusts itself to same rock surface. A subsequent river may form perpendicular to the subsequent stream. Goes opposite to the direction of.
पहले आप सबसे पहले इससे फोकस ऑब्सिक्वेंट पे क्या करेंगे, इट फ्लोस ऑपोजिट टू द डायरेक्शन ऑफ द मेन स्ट्रीम. ये आपका फर्स्ट पॉइंट होना चाहिए ऑब्सिक्वेंट में. अंडरलाइन करिए अभी इसको, प्लीज अंडरलाइन दिस टर्म, that it is formed in opposite direction to the mainstream. That is the main point to understand obsequent. मतलब मेन स्ट्रीम जिस डायरेक्शन में जा रही है, उसका जो ट्रिब्यूटरी है वो कौन से डायरेक्शन में जा रहा है, इन द ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन. समझ में आया? नेक्स्ट पॉइंट जो आपका पहला पॉइंट है, अब उसको पढ़िए दोबारा से.
When it adjusts itself to the same rock surface.
Hmm.
Subsequent river may form perpendicular to the subsequent stream.
It forms perpendicular to the subsequent stream. So it can also happen that these rivers can be added in a right angle direction to this. ये भी हो सकता है, जरूरी नहीं अगर ऐसे आ रहे हैं तो इस तरह से ज्वाइन हो, ऐसे भी हो सकता है ज्वाइन और ऐसे भी हो सकता है ज्वाइन, हो सकता है ना, देयर कैन बी अ पॉसिबिलिटी. नेक्स्ट.
We can define it in a way, consequent river is a tributary that flows in a opposite direction to the original main.
आया समझ में? दैट इज अ मेन कीवर्ड, इट इज फ्लोइंग इन ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन टू द मेन स्ट्रीम. ठीक है, it is flowing in the opposite direction to the mainstream and joining. How many of you have doubt in this? अभी भी है डाउट राहुल कहीं पे भी? हाँ, why it is joining in opposite direction? ये इसका, this is a trajectory that it is forming, it is going in an opposite. Can it not happen that this is going in this direction because slope इसका यहाँ पर है, it is going in this direction and the mainstream is going in this direction and it will join it like that.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, could you please give an example for this?
Yes, I'll give you example for this. Write down the example. Write down the example of it. लिखिए. The northward flowing streams of the lesser Himalayas. The northward flowing streams of the lesser Himalayas join subsequent stream Kosi, which is an subsequent stream Kosi, comma, as obsequent streams. Obsequent streams. किसकी बात हो रही है? Lesser Himalayas. And you know what are the lesser Himalayas? Lesser Himalayas की जो streams है, कोसी को कैसे add करेंगी? In a obsequent manner. कोसी, for example, is going in this direction. For example, in A to B direction. तो उसकी जो tributaries है वो कैसे flow करेंगी? In B to A direction, and then it will join. ठीक है? So write down next point. I hope it's clear now. Just look at the topic once. If you have any doubt in any of them, you can ask.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
मैम मुझे लास्ट लाइन में एक डाउट है. मैम जो लास्ट लाइन लिखी है, ऑब्सिक्वेंट स्ट्रीम्स आर फॉर्म टू हेडबट इरोजन अलोंग अंडरलाइन रॉक आफ्टर द इनिशियल ड्रेनेज पैटर्न ऑफ कॉन्सिक्वेंट एंड सब्सिक्वेंट रिवर हैज बीन फॉर्म. मैम इस लाइन को एक बार एक्सप्लेन कर दो प्लीज.
Okay. Obsequent river are formed through headward erosion. This is what you are saying? This is the point you are referring
Yes,
to,
ma'am.
headward?
Yes.
Okay, no problem. See, obsequent river are formed through the headward erosion along the underlying rock. Headward erosion means what? They are formed because of the erosion that they are creating. Headward means in the direction that they are going, they are eroding that path. Okay, along the underlying rock. Underlying rock means whatever rock which is coming, that is being eroded along the course. After the initial drainage pattern of consequence, see, your initial, consequent and subsequent drainage pattern will always be formed. ऐसा नहीं है कि ऑब्सिक्वेंट बाद में आ रहा है और कॉन्सिक्वेंट बाद में बन रहा है. Are you getting the point? ऑब्सिक्वेंट इज फॉर्म आफ्टर योर कॉन्सिक्वेंट हैज बीन ऑलरेडी फॉर्म्ड, उसके बाद ऑब्सिक्वेंट बन रहा है, फिर तो देयर इज नो पॉइंट ना, आप किसी से कंपैरिजन किससे करोगे? आर यू गेटिंग द पॉइंट? अगर आप कह रहे हो कि ए बी से अच्छा है, सो यू हैव टू रिलेटिवली आपको बी को पहले एस्टैब्लिश करना पड़ेगा इन ऑर्डर टू से दैट. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ यू आर सेइंग this is the path it is taking, ठीक है? These are the obstruction, any rock, any, okay, and this is flowing in this direction, it is cutting through and coming here. Now with what thing I have to compare it with? Something I have to compare, तभी तो ऑब्सिक्वेंट होगा. अगर कोई कंपैरिजन के लिए नहीं होगा तो ये तो नॉर्मल रिवर है, या तो फिर मैं इसको कॉन्सिक्वेंट बोलूंगी या फिर मैं इसको इनकॉन्सिक्वेंट बोलूंगी, राइट? इफ I'll tell it as consequent or inconsequent, अगर ये सिंगल है, ये मेन स्ट्रीम तो है नहीं, राइट? with which what I am comparing it with? Something which has been already formed, which is this mainstream. So this has to form already. ये जब बन जाएगा उसके बाद अगर ये ऑब्सिक्वेंट है, अगर ये ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन में, तो मैं इसको क्या बोलूंगी? व्हाट आई विल कॉल इट एज ऑब्सिक्वेंट रिवर्स, बिकॉज इट्स फ्लोइंग इन ऑन ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन. एंड हाउ नाउ इट इज टेलिंग द characteristics of subsequent river, how they have been formed. They have been formed through headward erosion of the rocks, and therefore it is flowing in this direction. Imagine ये नहीं होता यहाँ पे, this main stream, then you could have called it as subsequent. बिल्कुल भी नहीं, because main कोई comparison के लिए कुछ है ही नहीं. You are telling it as the opposite direction because you know mainstream has been formed and mainstream is flowing in this direction. Now mainstream is flowing in this direction, so you know that this is in opposite direction and this is definitely should be called as subsequent because ये mainstream के opposite direction में है, same direction में नहीं है, इसलिए क्या होगा ये? This is your subsequent river.
Clear,
Are you
ma'am.
getting the point?
Yes, ma'am.
दोबारा पढ़िए उस line को, then you will understand now more. Clear everyone? Now do the assignment questions, write down. I'm giving some of the assignment questions to you to practice. First of all, write down, distinguish the drainage pattern difference of Himalayan and peninsular. Distinguish the drainage pattern system of Himalayan and peninsular river systems. Do this question now. And I hope that you know what the structure that you have to follow. Search it in 2 minutes and then you have 8 to 9 minutes for your answer. How much have you written, all of you? Are you able to write the content? First of all, let me know. Are you going in the right path? ये तो मुझे पता चले from the online students, especially you.
Yes,
क्या?
ma'am.
What direction you are going into? Can you write the drainage pattern? First of all, you have to define Himalayan river and your Himalayan river are perennial, your seasonal river, the peninsular river are seasonal. You have to first define this. Then you have to tell the drainage pattern, how the drainage pattern has been formed. उनका कैसे बनेगा? Antecedent की क्या properties होती हैं? You will write that. You will give the examples. उसका क्या लिखोगे आप? They are forming the consequent. उसकी characteristics लिखोगे, and then you will give the examples. Examples लिखने के बाद उनके tributaries के बारे में बात कर सकते हो, थोड़ा बहुत यहाँ पे बात कर सकते हैं, and then you will write the conclusion. ठीक है? This is the structure that you have to follow. I hope everybody is getting this. बहुत difficult question तो नहीं था? या था? Was it difficult? हाँ. Very good.
Then I written some factors which decide the drainage pattern. Like velocity, speed of water, gradient or volume of water.
हाँ.
So this I created.
हाँ.
Difference between
Correct. Difference between
Himalayan
and Peninsular and I think one more point has to be added in this, that you have to tell the characteristics of the place. For example, just you have to tell the characteristics of the place. For example, you have to tell that what kind of patterns they are forming. ठीक है, आप इसका एप्लीकेशंस में लिख सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल योर हिमालयन रिवर्स किस तरह से फ्लो होता है, क्या होता है, वॉल्यूम कैसा रहता है. तो दीज पॉइंट्स कैन ऑल्सो बी एडेड इन दिस. ठीक है, एनी डाउट? Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Please do this assignment question. I have given only one assignment question to you. Apart from that,